Hi everyone, this is Ida of Created to Create. Welcome back to my channel. If you are not 18 years or older, this video content is not intended for you. I have a project share, guys. I was on Facebook and I live in a very small town and I always tell my kids, don't air out your dirty laundry on social media. So when I go on Facebook, I don't like to look at what's going on in my little town because everybody here is either related to somebody or we know them or, longtime family friends. And I don't like to get into their personal business. But I like to look at the craft groups and see what they're creating. And I'm like in Carnation Crafts, Heartfelt Creations, and paper crafting, exploring, like different craft groups. And I was on there and I saw a lady had created some vellum roses and they were beautiful. And it looks like either she embossed in white embossing powder or she stamped with white opaque ink. So I embossed mine and I'm going to share with you. I'm going to put them up here so you can get a better look at them. I embossed mine in white embossing powder. I use this one right here. It's an white embossing powder by Ranger. It did a really good job for me. If I can find any of the products, guys, I will link them in the description box. Again, all that when I say that is that you click on the little tab that says show more and it'll open up a drop down menu and you'll see some of the products that I use if I can find them on Amazon, because I do a lot of shopping on Amazon. So I created these. I embossed them in white, and I use 6 layers to create my roses. And what I do is I use graduating sizes. I'll use like 2 small ones, though, and then I'll go up to the next size and use 2 of those, and up to the next size up and use 2 of those. So I use 6 layers to create the flowers. So I don't create flowers very often, guys, because even though I think they're beautiful, they take a long time to create. Or for me, they do. You're talking about quite a bit of layers here. But I love the results. Look at how beautiful they are. And then I thought, well, I'm going to try and, you know what? Let me share with you first. For those of you who are not familiar with Heartfelt Creations, it's these right here. And it is the classic rose by Heartfelt Creations. And they do have a stamp for it. Then they have the die set for the stamps. And then they also have a shaping tray mold. And I will share that with you. And this makes your flower making so much faster. It's this one. And I'm going to share with you what it looks like. If I can find it on Amazon, I will link it. But this is the tray, and it's made of hard plastic. And you take the lid off and you just put your flowers stamped side down, and then you spritz them with water if you're creating them with paper. Now the vellum doesn't take water that well, so I didn't spray my vellum ones, but I do spray my paper ones. And then you just put the lid on here and run it through your Big Shot. And you do need a clear plate on top and on the bottom. So that's what I use, and I was able to use 2 layers. I was able to use 2 layers of put in 2 layers of the vellum, and they didn't crack, guys. And normally vellum for me cracks, but I found a thick vellum on Amazon, and I tried it with that, and I am so glad I did. It's this one right here. It's 167 GSM thick vellum. I will link this in the description box. You get 42 sheets for around $10. So it's very, very reasonable. And when I embossed it, a lot of times when vellum is thin, it'll warp really bad. This one did not. It held up to the heat real well. And when I put them in the tray, even though it was doubled up 2 petals per slot, I hardly got any cracking. I think one of the petals cracked on this big one. Yeah, right there you can see where this one cracked. And that's the only one that cracked. And that's because I doubled them up. Now, some I did have extra slots and I was able to just put one flower layer in them and they didn't crack. And then I thought, well, I'm going to try and make the vines for it, the leaves and the vines for it with the vellum and see how that does. And it worked really well. The only thing I don't like is that it leaves this white spots on them, and you have to go in with an alcohol marker and color the front, because normally I color my vellum on the back. But with these, I would have to, because they kind of just look like white spots, and I don't like the way they looked. I think I colored one of them in this one. This is not real noticeable because I colored it in. Was it that one? Yeah, I think it was that one. Because I colored it in, but if that doesn't bother you, they do come out beautiful. I didn't get any tearing with that thick vellum. So that worked really well for me. And because I'm working on my Happy Mail, Valentine's Happy Mail, this is the color that I'm working with right here, this raspberry color. So I tried to create some vellum ones in that color. And even though I used the right color of ink pad to blend the back, because when you create these, you have to color the back. You don't color on the front. You color the back when you make them out of vellum. And they ended up looking more like to me, they're more like a mauve color. So these I embossed in gold. I still need one more layer here. It's lacking a layer. Because I didn't, not that I didn't like the way they looked, it's that they didn't match with what I was shooting for. So I kind of stopped with this color. But these are embossed in gold. And then I colored the back with that raspberry color. And they look mauve. Nonetheless, they're beautiful. They just don't work with what I was doing. So I decided to, and it didn't crack or anything again. So I decided to just go ahead and use the paper and make some out of paper. And the first ones I created was this one, and I believe this one, and this little one. So these are the first ones that I created, but as you can see, there's white specks on them. And the reason for that is because the embossing, when you shape the vellum flowers or any flower that you emboss, some of the embossing tends to stick to your shaping mold. And if you don't clean that out, when you shape the next flowers in it, more than likely you'll get whatever color embossing you had used on the previous flowers, the little flakes. And you could probably just scratch those off. I just didn't want to deal with that, guys. I think what I'm going to do is I'm probably going to get another shaping mold, because I did order an extra die set for these flowers, because I want to be able to cut 2 sets at a time. But I think when I can, I will buy another shaping tray and only use one tray for when I only stamp with ink, and then leave the other one for when I am doing embossing, the wet embossing. That way, if there's any flakes or anything, it's okay if it's on an embossed flower already anyway. So, or you're going to have to really, if you only have the one tray, you're going to have to make sure you clean it out before you do your next flowers. And these I embossed with the same color ink to match the paper. The only thing that I didn't like about these, they look beautiful, but I couldn't see the veining that well because the Heartfelt Creations stamps, here's one of them. They have a lot of veining in them, and roses do have the veins in them. They don't show up that much. So for my next batch that I cut, because I still needed to complete more, I used a darker color. And now you can see, let me put these two together. Now you can see that this one, you can see the veining in it more so than in this one. It's hardly noticeable on this one, but on this one it's very noticeable. So that's the only difference that I did as far as that goes. But now they match, with the color I was working with because I used the same color paper. But look at how beautiful they are. And I didn't put them all together, guys. I did shape them already. But what I'm going to do is I'm going to put them in I have a box, a plastic box that has the dividers in it. It's just one of those clear plastic boxes. And when I'm creating flowers and I have leftover petals, I just put them all in one of the little sections in that box. And that's what I'm going to do with these. I'm not going to put them together because when you put them together, they take up more room. But if I leave them just as petals like this, I can just store them in that box. And when I get ready to use them, I'll have them there already. The only thing I'm going to do is I'm going to cut out some more, so I'll have plenty to work with because like the biggest petal is this one and I only have one left. So I need to cut some more of the same paper. That way when I decide to put flowers together, I will already have them cut out and shaped. Anyway, guys, that is all that I wanted to share with you. I hope that everyone is having a great day. Again, I will leave all the links that I can find in the description box. Just click on show more under this video. It'll open a drop down box and all the items will be linked there. Another thing, if you like what I created and you like to watch my channel, a thumbs up would really be appreciated. I never ask people to do that. I never ask them to subscribe, but if you want to be notified when I upload a video, then that's what you need to do. And also click on the little bell icon, and that gives you an alert whenever I upload new videos. Anyway, guys, thanks for watching. I hope everyone is having a great day, and God bless. Bye.